It is recording now.
Okay.
And one of the first things that Kim Puccio said to me when I met her to do this video was that she told me she almost never does interviews. And it's true. If you do a Google search on Kim Puccio, you're not going to find much about her. But Kim Puccio has produced some of the most talented climbers in American history. If you're into the climbing world or fitness world, chances are the name Puccio sounds familiar, mainly because you're probably thinking about the mother of Alex Puccio. Kim Puccio wears many hats. She's a head coach, motivator, athlete, mother, actually recently a grandmother, but above all, she is a protector. For background, Kim Puccio is Alex Puccio's mother, who, as we all know, is the most successful female boulderer that America has produced, winning several international titles, and has the longest running domestic winning streak out of any athlete in American climbing. Her other daughter, Casey Puccio, was a great climber in her own regards, and now is a mother, and her son, Shane Puccio, is still an absolute crusher when it comes to rock climbing. This is the kind of guy that can take several months break, then off the couch still easily climb V10. It's clear that their family is athletically gifted, but being athletically gifted is only one part of the equation to becoming a great athlete. That's something that Kim knows all too well.
Kim Puccio, and I am coaching Lone Star Climbing Team. I've been coaching about 20 years now, and long-term goals is to introduce climbing to as many children and adults that I can, and just let people see themselves become the best they can be.
Often the progression to become a head coach starts with someone who was a long-time climber, often an ex-professional climber or someone who has been in the climbing scene for years. Kim's introduction to climbing and coaching was quite a bit different from others.
So I was raising 3 kids by myself pretty much. I was waiting tables, and I had a group of friends that I climbed with, and there was actually a guy that I started climbing with, and he was a boyfriend, and he got me into it, and actually I didn't even introduce my children to climbing until like a year after I was doing it. So I waited tables for pretty much my entire life until about 10 years ago. So yeah.
Kim has had a reputation domestically and more specifically in Texas for producing top-level female climbing talent. At almost every generation of climbers, she's had a female climber that was nationally and internationally successful. From Kim's first generation of successful climbers was Delaney Miller, who is a 3-time national champion and World Cup finalist. Then came Grace McKeon, who is also a national champion and Pan American champion, and now currently there is Sarah Kate Ashton, who is a national champion and has made it to the semifinals in international competitions as well. Although she has had incredible success with female climbers, it's important to note that she has produced amazing male talent as well. 2 names that come up off the top of my head are Dalen Faulkner, who won the 2016 Horseshoe Hell competition, a brutal 24-hour competition with his partner Tanner Merkel, and Matthew Kenny, who I recently was able to see at Joe's Valley and can easily climb double digits while balancing school.
I know that I would get in trouble all the time.
What kind of trouble?
Well, so like when I started climbing exposure, I really enjoyed it, and I started climbing a lot more, and I started doing better. And I remember some of the kids on their team, they kept coming up to me asking me for beta and stuff, and was trying not to, but I gave them some information, and then I remember the coach that was at that gym, he would come over and yell at me, and he'd be like, why don't you just sit in a corner like all the other parents? Don't talk to the kids. And I'm like, I'm not talking to them, they're talking to me. So yeah, it was interesting.
The road to having such a historically stacked roster wasn't an easy one though. Kim Puccio didn't have the easiest time getting through life. During the beginning of her coaching career and long before that, Kim got her bills paid by waiting tables. Waiting tables is not an easy job, as it is physically demanding and difficult to juggle. If you're working the dinner shift, you often will have to stay well past midnight only to do it all over again the next day. Now, regardless if you have kids of your own or not, I think it's pretty easy to imagine how difficult raising a single child is with a partner. However, Kim's life was amidst a juggling act of trying to raise her 3 children to the best of her ability, pretty much by herself, working shifts at the restaurant, and on top of that, trying to coach a team to produce champions. I've often heard stories that she would be working at the restaurant the night before, then the next morning be up at 6 a.m. or earlier to take the team to a competition or even go outdoor climbing at the crag in Austin. If there's one thing that Kim doesn't do, it's make excuses.
I was thinking about this on the way up here. The one thing that I like the most is that I was a parent first before I became a coach. A lot of coaches out there weren't parents first. And when I hear some coaches say, you know, if we could just take the parent out of the equation, it would be so much easier to coach these kids. And I'm like, you don't understand what these parents go through, and I do. And I understand the stresses and how they'll change things in their lives to make this work for the kids. And I have so much respect for them that I just, I don't know. It's great to be the parent for the coach. I don't know how I would be or who I would be in coaching if I was different.
As much as each individual climber has their own style to climb, every coach has their own unique approach to developing athletes. During the day I filmed this interview, I was fortunate enough to sit in during one of the team's practices, and it was on this day there was a competition running virtually through the Kaya app. I took notes and filmed what happened, and the one thing I noticed most is the cadence in which she spoke to the athletes.
But I think the big thing is I look at kids like they're small athletes, they're adults. I don't talk to them like they're children. And I think I really like the respect that I get from them, and the same is giving it back to them. I like helping them, especially if they want the help and they want to get better. So yeah, I've learned to really respect and like kids. They're the kids that a lot of coaches will say, I can't believe you're coaching this kid, because they don't listen. They're not coachable. That's the one word I hate more than anything, and so many coaches use it out there. They're not coachable. They're coachable. You have to find a way to get through to them. Not every kid, not every athlete is the same. You have to find what makes them tick. And yeah, you'll have your special kids. I have a couple right now that are 10, 11 years old, and I know that they're going to be the next Delaney Miller, Grace McKeon, Alex Puccio. I mean, they're they may have a little fear, and they don't believe that they can do something. And I think I just want them to believe. I know how strong he is. I know how strong certain athletes are, and when they think they can't do something, that frustrates me. So I want to help them in a calm manner to let them believe you can do this. Yeah, so.
When Kim kneels or sits down, she gives the athlete on the wall her full attention. And it's during the moment that you can tell that she's reading everything about the athlete, from their body language, emotional cues, and technical abilities. Whenever Kim talks, everyone listens. She has a very powerful aura when she is coaching her athletes. It's an intensity that is driven by determination, competitiveness, and life experience. But what sets her apart is that despite her being intense and powerful, there are moments when she slows down and connects with the athlete. It's this protective maternal instinct that she has that can ease the athlete when they need it the most.
So yeah, don't limit yourself. don't just climb at the same place. Get out there, go climb at other gyms, go climb outside, very important, and, don't just be at one place.
It's even beyond the walls of the gym that Kim wants to see her athletes grow. Climbing ability is only a part of an equation of what defines an athlete. It's life experiences that are often more valuable than the hours in the gym. It's a reflection on what she has gone through herself.
Did you ever feel overwhelmed, or if anything, what was the hardest part of that whole journey until the point where you are now, where you are coaching? It's full-time, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've sort of had more time to...
I mean, I always feel overwhelmed, but I feed off of that. I don't know. I mean, I'd wait tables, and I think the most overwhelming was hearing from my boss that, I can't have the time off of work. And I think actually that's what pushed me to do this full time. I never thought it was possible for me to coach full time. I do not have a college education. So everything I did, I sold cars, I waited tables, I was a home health aide for years. I mean, I've done so many different odd end jobs, but, just, raising 3 kids, that's hard, especially, when you're doing it basically by yourself. But without the, help from friends, it would be really overwhelming. So, I mean, I guess I feed off of that. I like the energy of not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring. I mean, I fear it, but I thrive off of it.
As I wrapped up my time at the gym, I had so many thoughts racing through my head. This is going to be a really hard story to tell. And I think it's going to be difficult because of how inspiring and powerful Kim is. And yet she still has this soft side to her that you can really just feel immediately once you talk to her for a few minutes. In fact, when I set up the cameras and before we even sat down and started talking about I started asking questions for the interview, she said, "Okay, the mom in me has to know, why are you back in Texas? What's going on in your life?" And she just gave me this level of respect and security and safety that I felt very comfortable when I told her what's going on in my life and all the highs and lows that's been happening. But I felt safe and respected. It felt very protective in a way. And this is sort of a trait and a quality that is hard to find in many people, more or less someone in her position and what she's gone through. And that's why I think this story is so difficult to tell. She's powerful, she's commanding, but when she needs to be, she can make you feel safe and secure. Kim has been through a lot. She has also done a lot. I think when you look at the top level coaches of any sport, Kim's background is a product of life experiences and core values that got her to where she is. She knows how to translate that passion into moments that teach her athletes how to succeed. She always has the athlete's best interest in mind, and she will do everything it takes to protect them in a way that nurtures them into the best version of themselves that they can be. Where did you create sort of this value of treating everyone with sort of a linear level of respect, including children to adults? Because I've sort of seen you interact with everyone and you all treat them with the same level of respect, which is really a special trait that not many people have. Was it something you were raised on or something you've developed over your own lifetime?
I had a really bad childhood. I don't really talk about it a lot, but I didn't have someone to protect me through a lot of things. I'm not even sure if I should be saying this on air. But I wanted someone to be there for me, and I wanted somebody to encourage me and protect me and make sure that things are good, and I guess that I just want to make sure that's the same thing with other people. I want to help them and I want to be there for them. I want to see them be the best that they can be, and I think growing up and needing something like that made me want to help kids, see their potential, help adults see their potential. I mean, people will say, I can't do this, I can't do this. It's like, no, you can do it. You just have to want to do it. And if it's there and I see that spark, I want to help them get to there.
One lesson I learned from listening to Kim was this.
And so from here on out, as someone who has more life experience than 100 people combined. Or,
oh God, so how old are you trying to tell everybody I am?
No, I'm not saying that. It's just having, because, there's children that are more
you
expensive.
only live one life.
Yeah.
Live it to the fullest. You may not have the money to do the things you think you need the money for, but there's always a way to find a way to do it. I've got to travel all over the world. I didn't think that was possible, but if you want something bad enough, you have one life. Don't waste it. Don't waste any day on, I have to save enough money to do this or do that. You never know if you have tomorrow.
There are many things that Kim has been and currently are. She was a waitress, a car saleswoman, an athlete, a successful coach, a motivator, a teacher, a parent, but if I were to describe her in one word, it would be a protector. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. It's actually 8 a.m. and I spent all night editing this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, show some support by liking the video and writing a comment about what your thoughts were. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and show your support that way if you're interested in my content. A huge thanks to my Patreons over at Patreon. That really motivated me to making this video, as well as obviously a huge shout out to Kim Puccio and the Canyons Rock Gym and the entire staff there. They're so kind and accommodating while I was there. And if you're in the area, I definitely recommend checking that gym out. It's a smaller gym, but it's a very niche and unique environment that is very special. I don't know what else to say, but thanks so much, Kim, for sharing your story with me, and I hope it inspires some of you out there who are aspiring climbers or coaches. Yeah, I guess that's it. As always, keep crushing it, and have a great day.